VAs are mind readers.
Mind readers.
Mind readers. Mind readers.
Well, I think you need to be a mind reader in a way, but you need not like a literal mind reader. I mean, that's like out of the ordinary.
Hey, it's me, Julia.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sweet.
Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Dwayne.
And welcome to Stereotypes Podcast Network presents Cosmic Couch. Welcome once again, you guys. We are so thrilled to present another episode of Cosmic Couch, where we dive deep into the cosmos, thought, innovation, and the intriguing topics of daily life. So today, we have a very special guest who brings unique and amazing insights to our conversation. And as a client success manager, he has a wealth of experience and a passion for helping others achieve their goals. So get ready, you guys, for an enlightening and inspiring discussion that you don't want to miss. So for those who want to settle down, grab their food, their drinks, all of that, settle down and listen to this amazing guest that we have today. So please join us. Let's give him a warm welcome to the incredible JB. Of course, JB.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to me. Should I say?
Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome to you.
It's nice to have you here, JB. You're the most energizing person whenever we have whenever we have birthday huddles. You're the first boy that I see.
We really have to because we're freezing our computers, right? We don't have any more beside us, no more colleagues. So why not we put it on digital, right? On our Slack.
Love that. Always energetic, and your energy is really contagious, and it lightens up everyone whenever we have Monday Huddle. So for context, guys, Monday Huddle here in Rocket is every Monday we are having this team meeting. So all of us in the internal team are getting together to have reports and also have like a little what they call that, getting to know each other, or weekly check-ins, where we share our wins, our struggles, and what we did in a weekend. So very exciting. And Quiz JB here is one of the life of that Monday Huddle every week. So we're so excited to have you here in the podcast.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
And with that being said, please do introduce yourself a little bit. Please just put your own horn, your name, and a very fun fact about yourself.
Relationship status, JB. I'm kidding.
There you go. So guys, again, good day. This is JB, one of the VA Client Success Managers here at Sphere Rocket. Currently, I'm fulfilling my 4th year with Sphere Rocket. I started February 2021, right? To be exact, that's February 8th. I've handled different positions from recruitment to fulfillment to onboarding. It's kind of like, I'm all over the place. Where could I provide help and assistance? We are always there to provide and give our help. Now, for a fun fact about me, I don't know if you've heard it already from me, guys. I have a twin brother. Yep. You can check my social media, and although he's not here, he is also a soon-to-be pastor. So yeah. And I'm also active in our church since he is our worker in our church. He lives there, and I'm also very active in our church. That's why it's part of my weekly huddle there, if you will observe, attending Sunday services. That's the whole Sunday.
Why am I not surprised that you're in a pastoral kind of... I don't know, you just have that kind of stance, how you look like...
Energy, yes.
Yeah, the energy too. I wouldn't be surprised if you told us you used to be a pastor yourself.
Again, it's not me. It's my brother. Although I'm really at the church always. It started when I was in high school, and it keeps me grounded. You know, knowing God. I believe knowing Him is the only reason why I'm here. I was able to thrive with the industry that we have today.
Congratulations. 4 years. That's amazing.
I'm also quite curious, like, what is your personality like with your twin brother, right? Is it the exact opposite of your personality, or how does it go? What's the chemistry between the two?
Actually, if I look back then, since we are, it's like I'm looking in the mirror, right? We're identical, so somehow we have clashes. Of course, we're both men. A lot of things to argue with, but of course, at the end of the day, we're only two boys in our home, so we have to support each other. We have to, especially now that I'm earning. So where could I provide for him? I do.
Amazing. Love that. Yeah, and I agree with you, Chris JB. And you mentioned a while ago, going back to being here in Rocket, giving energy, and 4 years with service in the VA industry. So that's why I think, really, Quiz JB would be the perfect guest for our episode for today. So guys, our episode for today, as you can read here in the title of this episode, it will be Stereotypes in the VA industry. So we will be share some of our the things that we think are mostly common things that our people are thinking about the VA industry in general, whether it's a VA, whether it's on the client side or the agency side. So all of those stereotypes, and we would like to also shed light about if there is like misconception or something. So yeah, so that will be our topic for today. But before that, of course, so in Cosmic Couch wouldn't be complete without an icebreaker. So together with our icebreaker king.
Yes. It's time to break the ice. I thought you forgot about my super important segment that I'm supposed to do. So it's time to break the ice right now. So for the question that I have, it's a bit too specific, I would say, but so I would answer it myself. So the question is, what is something during VA work that you may or may not have done? For me personally, I may or may not have attended some meetings where I was wearing a formal attire on top, but on my boxers on the bottom. So I may or may not have done that. So yeah, that's something for me. And how about you, Sweet?
Oh, okay. That I get it. That's interesting. So me, I may or may not have finished a whole season of a TV show because while working on an 8-hour job. May or may not.
Okay, for me, oh my gosh. This is going to be so personal, but I'm just going to say it anyways. As a lady who wears 4 garments a day, I may or may not have worn, no undergarments the whole shift. So yes. I have gone.
And the crowd goes wild.
That's how you break the ice. Yeah.
The ice has break.
I hope not. Today is not the day.
No, I did not go commando today.
And of course, last but not the least, JV, it's your turn.
Okay.
Yes.
That one, I don't know if I can beat that one, Joe. Yeah. But yeah, for me, I think I may or may not have. For me, more of I may getting a coffee for our, the nature of our job. But there are times, especially this time, I'm more facing virtual assistants. There are times I'm skipping it. So I may or may not have coffee because I believe when you are already on your 4th year as a virtual assistant, you get used to it. It's part of your system. It's a routine already. I can be awake like more than 8 hours of our shift. I can still work more than 8 hours if I may. So yeah, it's drinking coffee for me.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty much, it's a necessity, especially in working at late if the such as hours. Although I don't really drink coffee, but Frappuccino doesn't count. It's still caffeinated. Or else I'm gonna be offending people who are coffee lovers if I call myself a coffee lover because I just drink sweetened beverages. But yeah, I guess that's breaking the ice that we have for now. We've learned a lot of things, embarrassing, or may not have learned things about ourselves. So yeah, that's something we have right now. But that being
It's up to you to guess. Yeah, it's up to you to guess if it's true or not. Anyway, speaking of drinking a lot of coffee during the shift, so let's start with. I will start with the first stereotype, I guess, that a lot of people think about virtual assistants, especially virtual assistants who works with U.S. clients. So when you are in the Philippines and you work with the U.S. clients, typically you will work in a night shift. So one stereotype that people have with virtual assistants is they are coffee addict. Coffee addict. That VAs are extremely, that's why a lot of people right now, like coffee shops are really in a rage. Like a lot of coffee shops are like, like mushrooms who are like appearing here and there. So that's, I think, one of the one of the stereotypes that we have in the VA industry. So how about you guys?
I didn't really put my finger in something. I guess I would just need to agree with that because knowing sweet really goes around in a coffee shop, especially in terms of working. That's also something I would like to try, but within my area, it's really hard to find a coffee shop that goes like for our shift for like 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. I mean, Starbucks closes here at 2 a.m. 1 a.m. I guess, so it's not enough for 5 a.m. shift, so that's it for me. But I think one of the stereotypes that I could give an example based on my own experience as a VA, there are those people who are just sleepy, a lot of times sleepy. I guess that also connects to the coffee thingy, especially when you're just gotten started to the graveyard shift. Like you're gonna talk to them or you're gonna message them, it's gonna take them a while. You know that they might be sleepy or kind of sleeping at shift. I mean, I can't blame them as long as, they're still adjusting to it. But, it's normal for people to be always sleepy during this time of the day or night. But eventually they will hopefully get over that.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. And maybe one thing that really popped into my mind that a common stereotype would be for VAs is that VAs always have food on the side, or it's either you're near a refrigerator with your food. Right? Like there's see, look at that. It's just exactly the perfect thing.
The candy.
Oh, yes. We can satisfy. Yes.
JB, it's not a real JB.
I can grab mine. It's too far.
As long as it's approachable, like it's really near your reach, the food is there. And because every hour we go starving, we go a little bit of hungry, and we grab some little snacks that we have just to keep us awake as well, right? Those are some things that really distract us from being sleepy. So yeah, eating a lot could really help. So yeah, those are like one of the stereotypes that I thought of.
I agree with that, Joey. But for me, the stereotype virtual assistant is a tech savvy, I can say, right? Because back in the corporate, not all positions are using computers, right? Or any digital thing. So right now you really have to, right? If you can't, you can't survive. Basically, that's the main thing. I adjusted well as well.
Yeah.
Back in food service, we don't have that. We don't bring computers there. Just my smile, our greetings, right? And how we serve the food. Basically, it's face to face, right? So, but of course, you just have to invest with yourself, with your computer, with your devices, and you have to learn it. There you go.
I was just about to agree. Anything you have to say, Dwayne?
Yeah, I would also like to agree that being tech savvy is a must here, especially in the virtual space as a virtual assistant. A lot of us serving clients from the US wants us, or we need it to be resourceful because they're not going to be spoon feeding everything, every knowledge and information to us. They're not going to be going to give you 30-day training or something like that you would usually have in a usual work setup. And this time you need to be, tech savvy because everything you're going to be doing is digital. And of course, Google is there, YouTube, and, it's information is basically free for everyone if you have internet connection to say. So pretty much it's about you. You need to be self-motivated. And I think that should be one of the positive stereotype that you need to have. And I think that also goes along for a stereotype for all of our VAs. They're really resourceful in terms of getting resources for what they needed to do. So that's an amazing part of a stereotype here at VA.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this next stereotype that I will share is more on the task base, and probably some may or may not, just like our icebreaker. So may or may not agree. So one of the stereotypes in the VA industry, especially based on my experience as well with being in the VA with the industry. So 7 years now. So this is basically my first job, my job or the industry that I had ever since I started professionally working. So one of the stereotypes that I noticed is they thought, or may or may not have, where the clients or anyone may or may not agree with this, but some think that VAs are mind readers. Just like Chris JB mentioned, that they are expected to be tech savvy. They know they are resourceful, and they are expected to, know everything. So one of the stereotypes is they're like, what to do when you are handed the role. Well, in fact, you have to. It's a two-way process when you are having a VA. You have to communicate what is specific task. So even if that VA has a prior experience with that role, it's still subjective, or the tasks are still different from company to company. So it's very important to have that two-way street. Although I have met in my client interviews, if you will watch it in Spherocket Network podcast YouTube channel. So a lot of the client interviews there are explaining that really I'm happy to hear that they are explaining the tasks that they need to their VAs, and they're handling their VAs very well. So yeah, that is my piece. How about you guys? So what's your take about that?
Well, I think you need to be a mind reader in a way, but you need not like a literal mind reader. I mean, that's like out of the ordinary. But basically just having the context clues on like what the client needs, because I guess initially your client will supply you with, I need someone who would do this. And normally you would think, oh, maybe he would possibly need this kind of application, this kind of service. That's just, that's what I think at the top of my head in terms of being a mind reader as a VA. And yeah, JB, maybe you have an input in terms of mind reading your clients or how to.
Maybe what I can share about that is the initiatives of the VAs. That could be somehow reading their clients. You knew already the position, but at the same time, at the back of your mind, you have already your backups. What are the things you need to do? Especially, let's talk specifically a position as a social media manager. You should not be knowing not only the Facebook or Instagram, but the deeper things inside of it, right? The traffic, algorithm, what's trend. So there's a lot to talk about. So having that, not actually mind reading, but being prepared and the initiative to do things for a client, let it out before then ask you to do it, right? So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with that. And sometimes it's also like you have to be proactive as a VA as well to ask if there's something that you're not familiar with when it comes to your task. So we won't be labeled as mind reader. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. You know, there are a lot of factors that come into play when talking about that kind of stereotype. And as on my end, it really applies to that. The stereotype that I thought of is that VAs are expected to multitask and carry a lot of loads of tasks in a day. And yeah, I mean, that's how I see it. And also, that's what mostly the clients that I've interviewed so far, they would mention about that, you know, but then they realize at the end of the day that, you know, virtual assistants are still humans and that sometimes VAs can get burned out. That's why they also realize that, I'm going to give some limits, or like I could stop giving a lot of tasks in a day and just limit some tasks in order for the VA could handle all of those tasks and just finish it without getting burned out. Because yeah, you know, we're still humans and we sometimes get tired by doing all of those tasks. Although multitasking is supposed to be our skill, sometimes overdoing it could really lead to burnout, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's to share next? Next stereotype. Meron pa ba? Meron pa kayo?
I'm pretty much. Most of my stereotypes are not that serious. Actually, it's more funny. It's for me, like people sleeping in the job, people who just like addicted to drinking coffee. Should I talk more about that?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah, sure. Anything fun and light.
Yeah, because I'm also I may or may not be this kind of stereotype who would order every 30 minutes or an hour. And he would actually, that's the thing that happened. I've gained weight since I became a VA because you're just sitting down and it's so easy to order food right now. Like,
I can agree.
there's 30% discount on, I don't know, this app if you order X amount of things. Even if you're not hungry, because you're just sitting down and you have nothing else to do, you would end up ordering things. And I mean, it's good that you get to eat, but I guess as a VA, you need to also be more active outside your work, because that means that, your health needs to be, you need to be physically fit, and you're more prone to ordering stuff online, especially in terms of food. And I guess that's one of the stereotypes that I may or may not be one of.
Yeah, I can totally agree to that. I mean, just to add, that really did hit me, Kid Rain, the way you mentioned, like, you added weight right after the moment you became a VA. Because as I went home today, just seeing my family, they were like, oh, you gained weight. Oh, you've got a little fatter. But like,
call us in your family reunion thing. Yeah.
Right? But like, I cannot deny that because it's a fact. And I've also observed that, the moment I became a VA, I've been eating a lot because, of course, we need to feed ourselves. We always feel a little bit of hungry when we do our work. But, a little balancing of that, you can always do outdoor activities, right, on your spare time and exercise and burn that. So, yeah, it's a matter of choice and balancing it. So, I totally agree to that statement, Kiran.
Yes. And I would also like to ask you, go sweet. Is that even possible? Order healthier food?
Or cook, because I'm into cooking now. Or you can buy food and cook it. Yeah.
I think that's one of the wonders of becoming a VA. You can cook at home. So you get to practice your personal cooking skills. You don't need to order all the time. So I should learn from my own advice. I should start cooking for myself instead of ordering fast food. So yeah, thank you so much for making me realize that. And how about you, JB? But are you that kind of person too who orders a lot during your shift, or are you more disciplined?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. In my area, we're deprived somehow of, that the stores of opening them because I'm in the province. So the working hours for them is basically the normal one. An 8 to 5 to 9 to 6. The latest could be 8 p.m. in the night or 9 p.m. So when we started work, there's no more. There's no more food delivery aside from the ones available outside is 7-Eleven, which is a bit too far. It doesn't offer, food delivery. So either I'll be ordering before our shift or I'll be asking my mom to cook for me.
Oh, it's nice to have your mom. Your mom's still awake with you at this time?
No. Before our shift starts.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise, JB.
That is just so sweet.
I know, right?
Right.
There's pros and cons in everything. Yeah.
Yes, and I would like to ask JB, since you've been here for 4 years since Fear Rocket, and is this? I'd just like to reiterate if it's your first time working as a VA here in Sphere Rocket.
That's a good question. Actually, when pandemic came, that's my question. How will I be able to work? Because my job, like I mentioned earlier, it's food service. No face-to-face, right? How will I serve food digitally or online? How will I do that, right? So I really immerse myself to what the things I can do after. So I really do my research, and Stereotypes is my first VA job. I actually applied to a lot of VAs, companies or recruitment firm, but Stereotypes gave me the chance. I don't know what they did see me in me, right? I don't know. Until now, no one answered my question. What did you see in me?
Fate. It's destiny.
Yeah.
So hard on yourself. You're talented, Christian.
Yeah. You've been with me 4 years.
Yeah.
It's not if it's not meant for you. And it's really funny how you were for your previous work before in the food industry, right?
Right.
Yes, from the food industry to the VA industry, that's quite a transition. And since you're exposed to both kinds of people right now, 4 years in the VA industry and 4 years in the food industry, are there any stereotypes that worked before when you were working in the food industry that's also the same here in the VA industry? I know it's kind of hard because you don't see them digitally or physically, but is there any similarities to the people you work with?
Right. I think the similarities will be with your co-workmates, right? The people around you. Of course, there are people who will support you, and there are people who will still bash you, will backlash you. It's still there. There are people like what the old saying, you can please everyone, right? Even if you are the funniest guy in the room, there's still someone who will dislike you, right?
It's hard to hate you, JB. I don't know how that's possible. To be like a really likable person, but
you don't know, guys. There is still, right? There's still someone, at least one person, who will not like you, right? Because maybe I'm too lively, I'm too outspoken, right? But I didn't mean to hurt anyone, right? Maybe I'm just giving some jokes that's not acceptable for the others. You just have to tell me. I don't know your feelings, right?
How do you handle? How do you handle those kinds of personalities? Like, how do you face them, and how do you handle it to yourself personally?
Funny question, Juliet. Actually, that's my topic for the next leadership training for Madame Shireen, for VAs, how to handle difficult people. So let me share with you a few things. Actually, I'm still studying it right now, but one of the most important thing to that problem is how to handle it is just to communicate. Be open. Be ready to communicate what I mentioned. If you guys offend on my jokes, you just have to tell me because I don't know that, right? You knew me as a funny guy, live at the party, right? So there are times I really poke fun of someone maybe, right? So I just have to communicate. You have to communicate. Tell them, tell to him or to her that you were unease of what he or she says, right? You just have to communicate. It's like any relationship, right? It won't work without communication. So everything will be ruined without communication. So I think that's one of the main factor to consider.
Yeah. And I think that's also falls into one of the stereotypes that we have in work, not just in VA work, is people who likes to gossip. That's coming from me. I can understand.
That is so you, Dwayne. That is just so you.
That's coming from me. But you know what? There's two ways. Not all gossips are bad, actually. You know, if you're gonna gossip, there's healthy kind of gossip. Gossip is there to make somewhat the workplace more fun to be in. It gives color to our life, but if you're gonna do gossiping, on the other hand, in a really negative way, like saying negative things about someone that's not proven, oh, I think he probably just lazes around the entire day during his shift, even though you don't have any proof, you're just trying to find faults in someone. And then you tell it to one guy, and then the guy tells it to someone else, and before you knew it, yeah, everyone is already talking about you, about something that you didn't even know. You didn't even know if it's true or not because they didn't come to you. Like, as you mentioned, communication. It's really important. And I guess people in general just don't like confrontation. They would rather speak behind you. And that's just one of the negative stereotypes that we have in the industry or just in general.
Yeah. But I think to top that off, one thing that we also have to know when we are facing those kinds of situations, like what Kuya JB mentioned, it's people are merely reflection of themselves. So who they are inside is what is manifesting outside. So if there's someone who is like not kind to you, it might be that person is having a bad day or something. So I think don't take anything personally. Would also be like a lifesaver in this
It's
kind of.
nice. They're just bad people. That's why they say bad things about.
Wow. Yeah, or maybe they're having a bad day, or they're they haven't eaten yet, they haven't slept yet, So don't
I guess
take
the
anything
worst is if they envy you. I think there are people that are just envious of other people's success. And instead of trying to go up and improve them to be above them, they would rather take them down. And that's really bad.
Yeah, that's the reality. So I just want to add one more stereotype because I just popped in my head when we were talking about Food Panda and all. So one stereotype with the VA industry is the VAs are rich. Do you agree with that? Because a lot of people are really like wanting to be like want to transition. I've met a lot of like friends and also acquaintances who are, when they know that I'm a VA, when they learn about me being a VA, they were like, oh, how can I apply to that? How can I be a VA? There were a lot of questions like that, and a lot of people are really wanted to be a VA because that is one of the stereotypes. They think that VAs are quote unquote rich. So, what's your opinion about that?
I think JB started off. Our VA is really rich coming from your coming from a different industry before.
I'll speak for myself. Just to be honest, of course, that's not true, right? If we are rich, we will not be here, right? Because I believe rich people will not work, right? Rich people tend to have their own business and run it, right? Because if we are rich, we will never meet each other, right? I won't waste my time on a graveyard shift. Hello, I'd rather to go sleep, right, than working, right? So I guess the right word there is we're just earning, right? That's for me. It's not true that we are rich because we are providing for our family to put food on our table. Yes, we can provide some of our needs and wants, right? Who doesn't want that? But we're not rich.
I agree. The word rich is
Rich.
yeah, it's subjective when you say it's rich. Like Kuya JB mentioned, Rich could be someone who doesn't need to work anymore because he's well off without working. But what I could say about being a VA is we might not be rich, but based on my experiences in my past companies before, they're a lot more generous. Being a VA pays a lot more generous compared to the usual kind of jobs that you would do before. And once again, and I'm not looking down on that. I'm just saying that based on the amount of salary, it's a lot more generous, I would say again. So, am I rich? No, but am I doing better? Am I earning better as a VA? Definitely, 100%.
Love it. How about you, Julia?
Yeah, I totally agree to that because we only get to provide all of that. And perfectly said, Jamie, that was just on point, period. That's all I have to say because we wouldn't be here, right, if we were already rich. You know, we'd be sleeping, we'd be resting. But basically, just like what you mentioned, we just probably we only earn the things that we deserve and we earn right, right? Because, of course, it's a graveyard shift and all of that. And we also do a lot of effort and hard work with what we do on our different job positions, right? So I think it's really, we're just really paid righteously, and that's just what we deserve. And having to provide a lot of things, right? Just like you mentioned, we've got families to feed, we've got, I have also tuition to feed. So like all of those things, right? We only do it because we deserve the hard work that we do. And yeah, on point once again. Thank you so much for that. And with that being said, anybody would like to add more topic on the table?
Maybe we're not rich monetarily, but we are rich of the time we can spend with our family. We are rich when it comes to the opportunity to spend time with our family and the comfort of our home. We can consider that as a rich, given that before we used to have more time in the office, outside, in the traffic, right? Or transporting. So I think on that part, on that side of what we realized when pandemic came, that's another definition of rich for me. Having more time and freedom for your family, for yourself. Right?
It's priceless to be able to have
Yes.
you spend time with them.
Time, yeah. Time is also one of the non-renewable source that we have actually as human being. So it's more precious than money. Having more time with your family, more time with yourself, and yeah, I think also VAs are rich when it comes to skills. So yeah, so not only with monetary, so we're rich in time and skills as well and talent. So yeah. So Julia.
Totally agree with that. And yeah, just like what Coach JV mentioned, right? We are rich. Like we can really claim that we are, because when we talk about being rich, it's not only the monetary or like the financial stuff. We're rich because we're blessed. You know, we're just blessed of abundant time with our family, and that thing that that money can never pay off, right? And that's really important. Those are things that are very, very important. And a lot of people have their own perspectives. One would talk about what do you mean when you say rich? But like, it totally is a clearer picture now that we could claim that we are rich because we have all of these blessings that we have right now, and that is time with family. We can provide for our own. We have our shelter, water, all of those needs that we have right now, and that's basically really is something really enlightening to know. So thank you so much for that quiz, JB. And of course, to summarize everything and conclude, there are a lot of stereotypes, a lot of variety of personalities of virtual assistants. But one thing is for sure, you can never please everybody, is what Ms. JB mentioned. What you have to do, how to handle all of that, communicate, be open, be blunt. Even though we encounter a lot of personalities, you can never please everyone. So there are a lot of variety of stereotypes in the VA industry, but it is a matter of having a positive perspective, handle it lightly, and go with life, right? Lightly, and go on with life and work, not taking it personally. Just like what Adi Sweet mentioned as well earlier. So just like with JP, our awesome and special guest for this episode, have a positive vibe because it is contagious and it can spread positivity in our work environment, most especially here in Spear Rocket. And you're one of those people that make everybody smile. It's very, very contagious. And thank you so much for that once again, Quiz JB. There you have it, you guys. This actually ends our podcast. Once again, I'm Julia.
Yeah, and I am Sweet. But before we end this, I just like to plug in something. So if you are a business owner who wants to scale your business with a virtual assistant, visit us at www.spearrocketva.com. And if you are an aspiring virtual assistant looking for a work-from-home job, just visit www.spearjobs.ph. Okay, and yeah, my name is Sweet, and thank you so much, Chris JB, for being here in the podcast.
Of course. Thank you so much again, guys. My pleasure. See you around. Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you. Have a good day. See you. Bye.
Feeling overwhelmed by your business tasks? Well, it's time to step up your game. Visit www.sphererocketva.com and get a virtual assistant from us at Sphere Rocket VA. Streamline your business operations and focus on what really matters.